really competing. It was more like we shared it with at the Westport Youth Film Festival and at the State House. And we actually got, there were only 3 films that could be shown on at the Westport Youth Film Festival, and we were one of the 3, so.
So we had the most votes.
Yes, we have.
Which, among the top 3.
How was the reception at the high school? You played it for the whole high school, right?
Yes, you played it for the whole high school.
Well, not for the whole high school, but like after school, like some of the parents could come and see it.
There was like a good amount of parents and students who came and saw the film, and the response was incredible.
We're going to share it with faculty as part of convocation, all district faculty in the fall.
And we also thought it would be something to work into the fall as well with one of the activity periods. We wanted to sort of plan it. It really got finished and presented at the end of the year. So rather than squeeze it in sort of the last day of school to show the school, we'll use it again. And they'll see it for the first time in the fall. These guys wanted to try to get up to the middle school even to show the 9th graders, but maybe that's, something now that we have this film, we can plan for its use in advance.
They did everything, wrote a question, felt that we want to tell just 2 minutes of the process you went through, because usually it's a year-long process, and we start after January. February.
Yeah, we started a little bit later. It was like we started out having a lot of meetings in the library classroom, and just talking about what we thought was, important, what we thought was a big deal in our school, which we thought was bullying in the school climate. But we really battled with either racism, homophobia, and so we thought we could, take both ideas, put them together, and really adapt it to the Constitution, freedom of speech, and if schools should have that right to say to a child that you can't say things like that, and really limit their freedoms. So what we really took from this is that schools they should have the right, but it's really up to the student to not say those things and not be a bully and not bully other kids. And it was a long process. Filming, we did most of the filming in 1 week. It was just all back and forth.
Meetings hours.
Yeah, a lot of interviews, and we kind of on one day we had to go up to one of the campuses, college campuses, to interview Maria Cannonen that was on the film, and it was kind of that morning we had to get our parents to give us permission to go, and it was really fast paced. So.
Can we ask one question?
Yeah.
Technically, who did the camera work, or what did you use for equipment?
Well, Jerry Wingard, he's the tech guy here. He kind of helped us out. It was actually Benson who filmed most of it.
Because they were both.
Yeah, they're
both
students.
In
tech class, so they knew how to work the camera. It was students that filmed the whole thing. We just got the equipment from Mr. Wingard.
Well, and are you going to show this again in beginning of next school year to the whole school?
We would like to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be point
here
to me.
and at the middle school
Yes.
for incoming 8th graders from not next year, but the previous next year. After
Yeah,
that.
for the content, but also to show that I don't think, just judging from kids that I know in the high school, there's not a whole lot of awareness about any of this capability and just the idea that these kids can actually pull
Yeah,
something
it's
off,
not so much
kids, but
yeah, it's not so much people think oh, bullying, big deal, it's huge, but they don't really connect it with their lives. They don't really connect it it's actually here, it's in their life, people are getting bullied here and at the middle school. So
You bring up a good point, because I think it was the other day, posted on your Facebook that a kid was made fun of because he was gay, and certain things were said, and that affected me, Kathy, and her a lot. And so
yeah, it's not it's not so active.
Yeah.
You don't see everyone getting shoved into lockers and things like that, but you can hear the comments in the hallway. You can hear that there's under the surface there's things going on that you don't
it's not
really
just
can't
in the
see.
hallways, it's online also.
Well, we would like to try to make this more available, and I'm going to be meeting with Joanne about how to sort of broaden this to get more students in. And now that we would start, in the fall again, rather than midway through the year when we sort of reach out to the civic life group. Now that we've gone through it, for next year, it's too late to turn it into a course, for next year, but maybe the year after that, it could be even more embedded into our curriculum. But next year, we want to take it a next step further, so that's not, at this point, it was anyone who wanted to join this club, was sort of, they were the core group. And, it was a wide open range, but next year, we've been investigating, could we get service, could be part of service learning or independent study or something like that.
And get credit.
And get credit,
Right.
exactly.
Could even be
Some type of
civic
credit.
but also social studies.
And social
Yeah.
studies.
Integrated
Absolutely.
program, course, that we get credit in both areas.
Andrew, you had a comment?
Comment is, have you tried to get Channel 5 to play it?
We haven't really reached out to the cable, like that thing. We've kind of been keeping it, like in the schools and things like that. But we'd be willing to, work with them.
Yeah, that'd be great to have it on
Because I know a
Channel
lot of
5.
people who do watch it on TV a lot, like the whole Channel 5 News, whatever.
And you had the opportunity to go over to Channel 24 or a public television station for training. Did you get a chance? Or was that after
they
the fact?
did it, that was the first meeting, that was the February meeting. The way Civic Life works it is there are four meetings, they call them 4 statewide meetings. 2 in the fall, and then February and April. So myself and Maria Gonzalez went to the February meeting, which happened to be at the studios of CPTV. We didn't know it, that was really when it began, to see what was involved, could we get on board, could we make the film in time for the deadlines, which were for legislative office building screening in May. So February 15th, we didn't have anything except all our ideas and background, and so then our deadline was the state legislative office building screening, which I think was May 24th, and then the Westport Youth Film Festival June 2nd. So we're just sort of like, the dust is just settling on having us have made it. We had a screening here as well, May 28th, I think it was, that some people were able to get to that Monday afternoon. So I got to go and see that, and next year would be fabulous for that, for the film crew needs to go and see that. They went to, you all went in April, there was a meeting at the Farmington Library of all the 8 schools. And everyone critiqued each other's films at that point. And so then we had from mid-April to mid-May to make the changes and finish it up based on the feedback that the kids got. But we basically had Bill Littauer, who is from Salisbury, but he's a news person with many years in CBS News, I think it is. Someone said to me, he's a big deal. He really had a major career in broadcasting, and he was here for almost a month. Like, he would come at noon and be in the video production room
So like 5.
Till 5, 6 o'clock, and as kids could come down and do some editing or see whatever it was we had to do.
We also had Dominique in the beginning, get us started.
Right, Dominique Lesueur is that heads it up, and Dominique Lesueur was here at the start to get things coalesced into a story. And I think it was very startling. We're all sitting around the library classroom, and someone mentioned, well, there were those fights 2 years ago. Oh yeah, and I think the Waterbury Republican, and right away he got on his cell phone, can I have the reporter? And then he's like, okay, we would like to talk to you about maybe doing this film. And he handed it to one of the students. And so sort of on the spot, they began. And so it was.
Because one thing we looked at was, there was the newspaper article in the Republican American, how many fights we had this year. And then he immediately called the reporter, which was Kevin
Kevin
Whitman,
Whitman, and then we,
we snowballed from there, and so.
And just the second observation is it something that can be expanded on to different topics? Because I think the way you present it from the eyes of students seemed to be something that would actually catch the attention of students. It's always that concept of, do kids respect the teachers or adults, or do they respect fellow teachers? And maybe you can think in terms of doing a couple of different topics every year, maybe drug use and how maybe you can get students who can come forth and say, I thought drugs were cool, like when I was a freshman, and now I see the consequences of them as a sophomore and junior, and it's all negative thing. I mean, there's just a lot of different topics that kids should hear how negative they are from other students. I mean, teachers, administrators tell them constantly, I don't know if they're listening to them, but they can actually hear, how miserable it can make a kid's life at an early age.
Yeah, it's definitely like, we had a lot of different topics with the other like 8 films, I think it was, and it was like, there was a play at one of the high schools where there was a gay kiss and there was a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
It was like death penalty, things like that. It wasn't necessarily what affected the school, but I think if we focused on that, we'd get a lot more, attention to it from the students, and yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Just fascinating, just is great.
Excellent work.
And
Thank
So
you.
keep it up.
Pat, thank you for all the extra hours you
It's a
and
pleasure.
your colleagues put in for this.
thank you.
Motion for executive session.
Second by, first by Mr. Rivera, second by Ellen. All those in favor?